Hey you guys, just getting a Spire run going. So once Wiz readies, we can get going. It is 3 mages, so I'm a little bit concerned about DPS. Sometimes it's easier with an archer or even another knight. But hopefully we just don't overheal. So we got Alpha, and he has Warrior's Call, so he's going to have more BR than this. But right now he's at about 148k, and he's bringing Amazon Queen. And we got Wizdred, who doesn't have his medallion on. I don't think... Oh, maybe he's saving insignias. Right, okay, and so he's got about 114k. I don't think he has Warrior's Call. Maybe he does? I don't know. And Ballwin, our knight, has about 135k. And he's... I'm not sure about Warrior's Call. But, you know, most of them will have a bump, either from like a power pot or something, and then Alpha's BR should go up quite a bit, and so will mine once I go put Warrior's Call on. I've got Hercules with me, who's great in Spire, just huge power. With mages, I'm not too worried about the heals, or else, you know, if maybe I'm solo maging a Spire, I would bring Hades for a little help with the heals, but I think we're good here. What was I going to check? Oh, I wasn't checking that. I was just going to go get my Warrior's Call. So I'm up to almost 235k. Let me double check my astrals because, yeah, so I have my PvP astrals on. And so I'll change to a block astral instead of deflection for this. And I think we're good to go. Alright, looks like everybody's ready. Mind. So it's pretty easy going until the, I don't know, maybe boss 14 or so. But we still have to be quite careful about bosses 3 through 5 and also 7 to make sure we kill off the debuffs first. So if I have another mage with me, and in this case we have 2 with us, this is my favorite spec to go with. Puri is you know, being able to purify your team is very important in Spire, so it's always good to have at least 1, if not 2. But I usually like to let another mage deal with the Centauria, because it uses up Bitter Rage, and I'd rather be doing other things, since I'm the tank, and also the main source of DPS. So, I probably could ult right now, but maybe I'll just do 1 auto attack, just in case. And so Wiz has Hades with him, which is not a bad choice for Spire, but not totally ideal either. He might be leveling it though. And we got another Gaia, and Amazon Queen. What actually is ideal is if we all just had a magic pet, so probably, you know, Gaia or Hercules, because on my Hercules I have this nice skill that reduces the MDef of the target by, well, not just the target, all of the enemies MDef reduces by 30%, and so everybody could benefit from that if they had magic pets, but that's okay. Still should do a nice Spire here. Hoping to beat 19, but usually that requires that we get at least one extra Vulcan. Vulcan Wrath. No crit there, but luckily Alpha's pet form. I think in a moment I'm probably... yeah, I'll just go now. What I want to do is I want to use the Delphic Thunder Wave at the beginning of this archer. Just because we don't have an archer... oh darn, we have a treasure thief, so watch me hit that. We don't have an archer with us, so it's easier just to wipe this out quickly at the beginning. Yeah, of course I did hit the archer. Alright, well I guess we're just gonna do this a little slower than usual. So we have no way to debuff this deflect unless we bring a purge rune, which is, you know, not really worth it. But yeah, without an archer we don't have a scatter shot. So we just mostly auto attack and heal, and works out alright. So if this, if the bleed from this guy hits Wiz, I probably will Puri just because he has less HP than the rest of us. Oh, and he's actually purifying me, but otherwise I think the bleed from this guy isn't strong enough to really be an issue for us anymore. Later on, some of the bleeds are pretty nasty, and so I will go out of my way to get those. The important thing here, especially for mages and especially less experienced mages, is that doing purifications in Spire is not just about getting bleeds. I think, you know, the earlier multiplayer dungeons, it's kind of all just like training a mage to react to bleeds and purify those. But here's one case where, especially with you know, teams that aren't quite as strong as these, if you have a tank that takes a lot of damage from magical attacks, you really need to debuff these damage increases. So I'm not sure we're going to get another one actually. Maybe right here. Yeah. So this one decreases MDef and PDef, and it's quite strong. And can be a real problem. So in many cases in Spire, it's not just about purifying a bleed. It's many other ones. This guy does do a bleed. Does a bleed for the whole row. So we'll see where it hits. It's got Alpha. I'll just Puri for the pressure. So again, I'm going to try and Sylph, and then hopefully get a Delphic at the end. I mean, at the beginning of the next boss. Let me start out here. Usually, I would lead with this shock chain, which reduces the MDF. But I'm hoping to do that first move of the next boss. Alright, so I'll reduce the MDef and get a Delphic in. Maybe somebody else can get the Puri instead of me. Sometimes if it's just Alpha and myself doing this, usually we only bring one purification, and he brings Centauria, and we both have Thunder. So so I would actually get out. I would actually have canceled myself and gone to Purify, because during the AoE from this guy, it does a buff that reduces the damage. Well, reduces the damage that we deal, and so it can be kind of annoying and just draws out the boss too long. So it's easier just to purify it. But that's the the trick to getting this, if you have a team that's you know, I don't know, like 100k BR or so. Well, even less than that, maybe just, you know, 80 to 100k BR, and you're trying to get through that boss. It's very important to be able to get that debuff and make sure that your team is doing as much damage as it can. What's going on here? Too many mages. I'm just, everybody's healing, and I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, but really I can just go ahead and DPS. Hercules is terribly fun. I'm still pretty hesitant about bringing him to Class Wars. I mean, I could try him out for the preliminaries, and then if I don't like it, or I'm just feeling stubborn, switch back to Hades for the finals, but I don't know. You guys can give me a tip there. Oh, I was stupid and I did too many moves before my Delphic. I should have. This only lasts 3 turns. The shock chain, which reduces the MDef. So I should have done my Delphic sooner. So for this lady, I always call her the Lich Lair lady because I don't actually pay attention to these names. Her name's Elisa, apparently. The important part about this one is to kill the first bar very quickly. Especially if it's a close call and your team, you know, is on the fence whether you can beat it. No, we're fine. I think Quinn was concerned that he and Alpha both sylphed here, and he meant to sylph after this stun. But yeah, so we cleared the first boss quickly enough that this shouldn't be an issue. But if you dawdle too much, then you can get into some big trouble. Oh, come on, Wiz. Get that heal through. There you go. She also goes very fast, and there's no way to slow her, so you really got to be on top of your heels. Yeah, see, she's getting 2 moves. Restore is much faster, and in this case, I was telling Wiz to use Restore way too late, but to use Restore instead of Blessed Light, because Blessed Light is quite slow, and so the boss was getting 2 turns before he could do anything. So in that case, since the 3 of us, Ballwin, Alpha, and myself, can take multiple hits, I wanted him to single heal himself, which is much faster. So as a mage, don't always think that BL is the best option for healing. There is a purpose to Restore. It's much faster than a Blessed Light, and it also will put a do I have it right now? No, this is Centauria. And it also puts a 15% damage reduction on you. So yeah. Oh, we're actually fine. See here. Alright, good. So I'm gonna get the MDef reduction before Gwen uses his Delphic, so I should do a bit more. So she does have a pretty nasty AoE, and with all the Spire bosses, pretty much all the mean stuff comes when they do an AoE, and it AoEs and it bleeds, or AoEs and puts some, you know, slow debuff or something on you. So definitely as a mage, you want to think about, you know, does the boss's AoE bleed or debuff in some way? Do you need to Fury? For archers and knights, you know, for an archer, you definitely want to think about if it's a strong AoE, you want to be able to do an incendiary shot on the boss to reduce the damage that your team takes. And if I'm not paying attention, right? Okay, we should be okay. probably beat this first. Luckily, we have another. Nirvana. But anyway, yeah. So if you're a knight, you definitely want to think about putting up like Apollo shields or something like that before the AoEs. That was really careless on my part, but luckily we have an extra Nirvana. I forget. I tried to be a little bit, stingy using the Vulcans so that later on I can hopefully use one every boss. I definitely probably have to use one here, even though I'd like to save it up. Oh, okay, he's talking about the gem event. Can I get away with this? I'm gonna Vulcan. Though I might lose this reduction. Indecision really can kick you in the butt, and it's probably one of my biggest faults as far as I play in the game. So this is 100% buff, so not too bad. I'll be able to get one shot on this guy with the Vulcan on. Jeez, crits are being a little stingy. So this boss is really, I think he might have, yeah, he does some sort of like defense reduction, but it's not a huge deal. But otherwise he's mostly just tank and spank. And by tank and spank I just mean, you just need to live and do enough damage quickly enough. There's a lot of Spire bosses that are like that, but there are equally as many where you really have to be careful of the debuffs, either on your player or the various buffs that they do on themselves. So the one with Dina, she like does some, she rages up and does some sort of brutality like buff on herself with a shield at the same time, and it can't be scattered. So these are all the Spire things that, as you do the bosses enough times with your teams, you just learn how to deal with them. Not bad. So I am a little... Yeah, okay. This is alright. I was about to say that I'm a little worried about Wiz, but should be okay. Hopefully this takes him out. Hopefully I get a nice crit because he raged up. Well, not quite. Maybe I should have shield. Anyway. So I don't want to use my Nirvana yet, because if I used mine up, I wouldn't be able to use it on myself when we probably die against Elise. This is one where really you definitely want to be able to Vulcan and Sylph early on. So we're not in a great position right now, but hopefully we'll do enough. I'm going to rune and then heal Alpha. Definitely don't want anybody to die earlier than they need to. Alright, next I'm just going to DPS as much as I can. hopefully she doesn't rage up until I'm done with my Vulcan. But the biggest problem about this boss is that she hits so darn fast. She gets, 2-3 turns before we can do anything. So slow moves, anything that's slow is just terrible against her. Why was I missing my Vulcan there? Definitely confused. Yeah, that hurts. Well, definitely not a perfect run, but good enough. This is where we usually get. Usually we need, well, pretty decent archer, or, if we have some sort of like, a luck streak where we get a bunch of Vulcans and we don't have to worry too much about conserving them until later. We usually won't die earlier on, and we also have a chance of beating her, which we've done a few times. So hopefully I can get that on recorded at some point and be able to show Boss 20, but for now, this is still pretty good. These guys are still holding out. I think Alpha might be dead. Actually, I'm almost positive he is. Yep. Well, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a very good day. I'm going to see you during the gem event, which is going to be really fun, and maybe some clothing stuff, but not too much of that either. So take care. Bye now.